Could plants actually communicate with us through sound? Could the hippies have been right all along? What if I told you that plants might actually hear and even speak using sound waves that carry real information? What if I told you that scientists could predict how much water a plant has just by listening to it? And as you're about to see, plants also react to sound waves. This discovery could totally transform how we do agriculture and monitor plant health. So, are plants really as silent and deaf as we thought? Okay, so I know what you're thinking. So there's this huge plant behind me, and there's this guy here with a long hair. So you must be thinking that I'm sent to do some hippie propaganda. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm also an engineer, so let's talk research, babe. In the first research, scientists discovered that plants react to the sound of bees buzzing by increasing the sugar content in their nectar by 20%. Nectar is a really genius invention of plants. It's a liquid produced by the plant, something like an energy drink. You can think about it like a vegan Red Bull for insects. To reproduce, plants must transfer pollen from male plants to female plants. To achieve this, they produce nectar to attract blue-collar insects, like bees. When the insects drink the nectar, grains of pollen attach to their bodies. When the insects go to a different plant, they transfer the pollen. Genius! By the way, if I'm continuing with the nectar is Red Bull metaphor, I just had to generate this image. Sorry, this is me doing some nonsense. Now, the longer the insects drink the nectar, the more pollen grains attach to them, increasing the likelihood of reproduction. So plants want to make their nectar more sweet to keep the pollinating insects there. But sugar is expensive and plants can lose their nectar in many ways, like microbial degradation or robbery from non-pollinating insects. So plants have an incentive to make their nectar sweet only when there's a pollinator close to them, when they hear them. In the experiment, the scientists played sound to plants and measured the sugar concentration of their nectar. In the first experiment, they played 3 signals. The first signal, silent control, played no sound. The second signal, called low frequency, was a sine wave with decreasing frequency between 1 kHz and 50 Hz for 10 seconds, which is the frequency of bees buzzing. It sounded like this. The third signal, high frequency, was a signal of the same style, only with a much higher frequency range. It ran between 160 and 158 kHz. This frequency is much higher than the hearing range of humans, so the signal can't be played. In the second experiment, which was done indoors, they used the same 3 signals and an additional 4th signal, bees buzzing, which contains the sound of a recorded bee. It sounded like this. They played the sound by hovering the speaker above the plant, mimicking pollinator flight. After 3 minutes, they extracted the nectar and measured its sugar concentration. When playing the bees buzzing or the low frequency signal containing the same frequencies, the sugar concentration increased significantly. For demonstration, this is what an increase of 20% sugar concentration looks like. And if your body, who always puts way too much sugar in his coffee, can feel it, you can be damn sure that bees can feel it also. The researchers saw that the plants vibrated when they played the sound. In another experiment, they cut their petals or covered them with a jar, and the plant didn't vibrate and there was no change in sugar concentration. This led the researchers to hypothesize that the petals serve as an ear to the plant. They think that their foam was made to make the plant vibrate for sounds that are relevant to the plant, like bees buzzing. To think that the shape of the plant was made mainly to detect sound is really cool. This research is so cool because it evokes my imagination. What if there are other sounds that could make the plant behave in ways we want? What if there are sounds that could make the plant consume less water? What if there are sounds that could make the plant grow more tomatoes? What if there are sounds that could make the tomato be more durable? This is just the start of plant bioacoustic research, and there will definitely be more research studies to follow. And the second research from the same research group is just as epic. They show that plants emit sound waves when in danger. Okay, wait, but hold on a sec. Before I continue, I want to tell you something. My name is Arad. I'm a huge fan of science and engineering. I'm the biggest nerd ever. I just love it. I have a vision for this channel. I want to bring more science and engineering in the world. What I imagine is to make engineering competitions, funding several teams that would build huge, innovative projects, and the winning team will receive a prize. With this, I will bring more engineering in the world, which would be my contribution in making the world a better place. If you support this cause and think it's cool, consider subscribing to the channel, because the bigger the channel, the bigger the competition. I'm gonna launch the first competition by the end of the year. It's gonna be small because you must start somewhere, right? But it's gonna happen, so stay tuned. Alright, now let's get back to the video. They tested tomato and tobacco plants under 2 treatments: water shortage and stem cutting. They had 3 controls: recording from the same plant before the treatment, recording from an untreated same species neighbor plant, and recording a pot with soil but without a plant. The stressed plants emitted significantly more sounds than the control groups. The measured sound intensity at 1 meter distance for the water shortage sequence was 41 dB for tomatoes and 45 dB for tobacco, which is about the same volume as a quiet conversation. They literally heard the plant crying. So cool! Unfortunately, we humans can't hear that because the frequency range is ultrasonic, but many animals can actually hear that. Animals can literally hear plants. Not plants moving in the wind, not some ambient sound of nature, but literally plants. I celebrate it. The next step was to take the data and train a machine learning model. By analyzing the sound, the model was able to predict the plant state with 84% accuracy. Next, they measured the plant's water content and recorded the corresponding sound. With this data, they trained another machine learning model with which they predicted the plant's water content based on the sound. They achieved an accuracy of 75%. It's like determining how hungry your partner is by listening to the intensity of their complaints. This is so cool! Think about it. We can predict if a plant needs water and if yes, how much, simply by listening to the sound waves it emits. They conducted the same experiment to a lower extent with other species and saw that they also emitted sound waves. At the moment, the mechanism for the sound emission is still unknown, but the researchers assume that it stems from internal processes in the plant. They assume it's a passive mechanism, so it's not like that the plant actually talks, but rather that the internal processes due to water shortages cause the plant to emit sound waves. But again, this is only an assumption and must be researched further. This research also makes me excited. In the future, we will probably have microphones in the field documenting the plant state and adapting the water treatment. Adaptive treatment can save a lot of water and we barely need something for it. Only microphones and the software. This research opens the door to a completely new way to monitor plant health, which is just awesome. And what if we could blend both research studies and play to the plants the sound that they emit? What will happen then? I'm really curious to see how this new field develops. Personally, I'm pretty confident that this research is correct because Poison Ivy here is insisting on telling something. Stop embarrassing me. What we said you're gonna say. Oh, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, plants can indeed talk. Listen to them. But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Oh, do you believe in life after love? See you.